What's happening, everybody? It's time for another Thursday Night Football player prop drop with your boy, Sniper Wes. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Allie Burns. Sniper Wes, man, you've been making us some money over here on the prop drop. How you feeling to be back today?
Feels fantastic. 2 weeks ago I went 4-1. I forget what game that was. Last week I went 3-2. But I remember I was only 1 or 2 yards away from being 4-1 again.
I know,
which kind of chaps my you-know-what a little bit. Just so close. But that's okay, because we're going to try to go 4-1 right here, or 5-0, hopefully, and make everybody out there some money.
Let's 5-0 it. What do you say? I mean, just for old time's sake, let's just go 5-0. All right. Well, we are talking about the Thursday night football game when the Steelers take on the Bengals. I've got the Steelers as the favorite here on the road. They're minus a 5.5. Total on this one is a 44.5, but we're not looking at the side here. This is the one play of the show that is not a player prop. Wes likes to give a total play. What do you think, Wes? Is it going over or under?
Well, Flacco, he gets another week to prepare here. Obviously, he just came over from Cleveland, so he's still getting used to the offense a little bit, but he did play a lot better in the second half. And he has a lot of experience playing the Steelers, right? Because he's played for the Ravens, he's played for the Browns twice, and now the Bengals. So he's faced the Steelers plenty during his career. As it relates to Chase and Higgins, I think he probably has a good game here just because, like I said, he gets another week to prepare. I think Aaron Rodgers, to be honest, he has a good game as well. He's been a serviceable quarterback this year. It seems like the press is starting to harp on him a little bit, but to be honest, if you look at his numbers, it's not bad. 69% completions, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 105 passer rating. That's not bad through 5 games. And this Bengals defense is just atrocious. And I think that this game is going to go over 44.5, and that is going to correlate with a lot of these props that I have here. So it's kind of like we're swinging for the fences, and we're either going to go, 5-0 or maybe 2-3. But I hope not, because if I'm right on the total, I'm probably going to be right on a lot of these props here.
Well, your record says that you've been right so far. You're 7-3 as far as this show is concerned. So I'm betting on you, Sniper Wes. Now we're going to start with a running back from the Bengals. This is a guy named Chase Brown. What do you think he's going to do, Sniper Wes?
Well, nobody probably knows who Chase Brown is, and that's because he doesn't do much for the Cincinnati Bengals, right? The Bengals can't run they can't run the ball. They just can't run the ball. He has 202 rushing yards on the year. That is through 6 games, and he is their leading rusher. That is not good. He averages 5 attempts per game, 2.7 yards per rush, not very good. And so if he gets 5 carries here and rushes 3 yards a carry, my math equates that to 15 yards. Obviously, that's not always how it shakes out. I get that. But I kind of think this is a situation where the Bengals, they could get down early, right? They could be down 10 points, 14 points in the first, second quarter. They might just abandon the run and just start throwing the ball. So give me under 44.5 rushing yards with Chase Brown. By the way, FanDuel, I'm getting all these lines at FanDuel, just so you know. And they give out minus 114 juice for all their props. Not sure why the extra 4 cents, probably just because it's props. But it's under 44.5 rushing yards, minus 114 for Chase Brown.
All right. I like it. Now, here's a player that we all have heard of. It's JaMarr Chase. He's also a Bengal. He's their wide receiver. Sniper West, what do you think? How is his game going to go on Thursday night?
Well, as I mentioned before, I think Flacco has a better game. If Flacco has a better game, JaMarr Chase probably has a pretty good game, right? And JaMarr, he can get loose. So here's the deal. 73.5 receiving yards. That is his over-under. I like the over. Once again, it's minus 114. But he's the type of guy, Allie, that if he gets 3 or 4 catches, he can supersede 73.5 because he can take one and he can run between 2 guys because he's so fast and elusive and athletic. Right. He can get, 73.5 yards. You give him 4 or 5 catches, he can easily get to that number. So I think he's going to have a big game here. If you remember, he had a garbage touchdown at the end of the game with Flacco when he started playing better. So, their cohesiveness together might be getting better, so to speak. And I like the over with JaMarr Chase here, over 73.5.
Okay, so let's switch sides. The other team, they've got some wide receivers also. One of them is a guy named DK Metcalf. How do you think his game's going to go, Sniper Wes?
Very similar to what I just said with JaMarr Chase, right? So DK Metcalf, I'm going to go over 64.5 receiving yards here. So DK, if you remember in that game versus the Vikings, it was the Ireland game, the early morning game for those of us here in Vegas. He caught a ball at the 60-yard line, alley, and he took off running, and nobody could catch this dude. And he's the biggest guy. He's the biggest non-offensive lineman or defensive lineman on the field. He's a beast of a wide receiver. And he outran everybody. The cornerbacks couldn't catch him. The linebackers couldn't catch him. So he's another guy very similar to JaMarr Chase, where if he gets in the open field, he can take off running. He can supersede 64.5 in 3 or 4 catches, in my opinion. And if you remember back when he was with Seattle a couple years ago, Arizona, they had an interception like almost at the goal line. The guy was running it back for a pick 6 for like 90 plus yards. DK ran that guy down. This guy has got wheels. He can scoot. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to go over 64.5. I think Aaron Rodgers has a good game, which means DK Metcalf is going to have a good game, which will take us right to our next prop. But, for now, we'll go DK Metcalf over 64.5 receiving yards.
Yes, like you said, it's taken us right in. Now, I really like this. This is a dual quarterback prop here. So we're talking about Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, both of the quarterbacks in this game. What are they going to do? What is the play on them?
So this is a FanDuel. You can get Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco to combine for over 500 passing yards collectively, okay? This is plus 160. So, and I know you're plus money, honey, so I know you like this play a lot. Anytime you're getting plus 160, it's some good value. And I think both quarterbacks play well here. And here's the thing. Obviously, I think all the receivers are going to have good games, as I, spoke about earlier. T. Higgins, don't forget about him. Joe Flacco has a very good weapon in him as well. So the Bengals, they give up 258 passing yards a game. The Steelers give up 245. But we really just need one of these guys to go off. And to be honest, it's probably going to be Aaron Rodgers because the Cincinnati Bengals defense is just terrible. It's atrocious. It's very, very bad. So if we can get 300 from Aaron Rodgers, which I think could very well happen, we only need 200 for Flacco, which I think could happen because he has another week to prepare. He has JaMarr Chase. He has T. Higgins. Aaron Rodgers is facing a terrible defense. And I think Aaron Rodgers hears a little bit about what the press say about he's not the quarterback he used to be in Green Bay. And let's face it, he's never going to be the quarterback he was back when he was winning MVPs, but he can be serviceable. I mean, it looks like the Steelers are going to win the AFC North as it goes. So, I mean, who knows how far they can go in the playoffs, but I think they have a good game. Both quarterbacks collectively give me over 500 yards plus 160 for plus money, honey. And let's take that to the bank.
I love it. I know. Poor Aaron Rodgers. Why can't you just be the guy that you were 10 years ago, Aaron? What's with that? Jeez. Okay, guys. So before we get to a recap, I am going to do a little recap. I do want to remind everyone to hit the like button, the thumbs up, show us some support for all the free content we're putting out for you. Sniper West is also in the NFL Total Chaos video this week. He's up against Tim Earl, who's coming off a 5-0 week. Total Chaos has been hype, y'all. So check out the NFL edition and the NCAA edition. Also, we've got a Weekend Warrior promo for you. And Sniper West is one of those guys who's a volume better, right? Lots and lots of plays. With our Weekend Warrior pass, you can get all of his Saturday plays and all of his Sunday plays for only $49. And then as a bonus, we'll send in those Monday Night Football plays as well. So lots to be checked out there. Wes, tell the people anything I'm missing here, anything I need to let them know about you?
Not really. I mean, you did a fantastic job. I am high volume. I do a lot of different sports. So if you're looking for action from every which way you can get it, I'm definitely your guy. I'll have baseball. I'll have hockey. I'll have NFL. I'll have college football. I'll have CFL. And I will have UFC this weekend. So, high volume is Sniper West.
That's what I forgot to tell them is where you're at on the leaderboard. So at picksandparlays.net, we've got a leaderboard. Okay. So if you're looking for your favorite handicapper that you want to buy that Weekend Warrior pass, or even just any premium plays, check out the Picks and Parlays leaderboards. They do not lie. Sniper West is number 2 in college football over the last 3 days, number 1 in Major League Baseball over the last 3 days. I believe you're number 1 or 2 in the WNBA. This guy is all over the leaderboards. Super good in Canadian football, if that's your jam. Here it is right here. See, I told you it exists. They do exist. So you definitely want to be checking out the leaderboards. Find your capper that you like and make some money with picksandparlays.net. All right, so now it's time for the recap. All right, so the Steelers are playing the Bengals. Steelers are minus 5.5. The total's 44.5. And Wes is taking that game over 44.5. Our first player prop is Chase Brown. He's a running back for the Bengals, and we're going under 44.5 rushing yards with this one. Up next, we've got JaMarr Chase, wide receiver for the Bengals. We're taking it over 73.5 receiving yards. Wide receiver for the Steelers, little guy, you might have heard of him, DK Metcalf, no big whoop, over 64.5 receiving yards. And then our plus money play of the night, it's a plus 160. It's a combo, all right? It's a twofer. Aaron Rodgers plus Joe Flacco, both of the quarterbacks on these teams, over 500 passing yards combined. That's a plus 160. These plays are coming off of FanDuel, just so you guys know. And that is pretty much it. That's our Thursday night player prop drop, guys. We hope you make a lot of money. I want to see your 6-4 record blow up to an 11-4 record. All right. Did I do that math right? I don't really math in my head very much. Like I'm just saying, you don't get your degree in art because you're good at math. All right. I'm just saying. All right, guys, we'll check you out next time. Let's make some money. Happy Thursday night football. Catch you next time.